Next, we have Brian McCain, Cable Committee. Request for a new van.
What is it? Not to put
I think the town has a policy about speed bumps. That's why we left it.
I'm here to ask the board's approval on a new van that I gave you some quotes on. The current van is a 1986 Chevy step van. It's got a lot of problems, rust not being the worst. It's got a bad leak in the roof, so we can't put anything in the middle of the van or it's going to get wet, the equipment. But the worst is it has no seat belts. It has a real problem with the suspension to where we can't drive over 40 miles an hour safely. To fix it, I think would be in the thousands, if not more. And vans of this age and condition, I was looking on Craigslist and eBay, and they're selling for $600 to $900. So I mean, it's just above scrap. I mean, it runs okay, but it's just going down the highway. I won't go down the highway with it. We took it to Bishop Burton probably 4 years ago, and it was like a.
Did you go down the highway that day?
We did. It was horrible. I mean, it was horrible. And it has had a lot of work done to it. That's the sad part. It's had a lot of work to it, almost $2,000, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, including shocks and everything, and it didn't help the problem, and tires and everything. We did look into some used vans, but there really isn't anything in the area. Maybe if you want to go to California, or they're everywhere, but not around here. I can't find anything like that, except for one we saw a couple hours away, and it was an old bread truck, a Harvard bread truck or something like that, and it was in pretty good condition, but unless you go down and check it out, you don't know. Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot more I can say about it other than, the roof is rusting. I was going to have pictures, but
I think that we get the message. So would the money come out of the cable fund?
Yeah. And also I've talked to Chris Silver, I've talked to the IT department, and they would love to have something like that to use to move filing cabinets or something. It wouldn't just be because we use it mostly after hours. Mm-hmm. So it could be something, if it's used for a clean purpose, not, trees and stuff like that, but I mean something you need covered to move from place to place, even though DPW or whatever, just so it's kept clean.
Well, why don't we open this up for questions from the board here. Mr. Bean.
I don't have any questions. I would jump right to the motion to deadline that vehicle, nobody drive it, sell it, scrap it, whatever, and to purchase the cheapest vehicle. That's my comment, sir.
Okay. Mr. Nichols?
Yeah, a couple of questions. Brian, it's pretty much a given then you need a box van as opposed to a cargo van to do what you got to do?
Other than like a regular van, it's just not enough room.
Yeah,
so
okay.
We fill that one and we stack things on top of it.
Because I think you could find tons of decent used cargo vans out there, but I understand that box vans are a little bit tougher.
Yeah, they are. They're tough to find.
Are there any additional costs to outfitting it over and above you've got 31,000 here. Is that pretty much all there is to it then?
Pretty much. I mean, we're not going to put a permanent station in it because I don't like to leave things in it. You're not supposed to leave electronic equipment out in the cold like that, especially cameras and stuff. So, I mean, we put it in like we do this one now. We set it up. We'd have a table set up so we put everything where it's supposed to be. I don't like leaving things out there because, it's too easy to get into.
So there'd be a limited amount of money spent over and above?
Yes. I mean, I would strip everything out of that, the side walls and everything, and utilize that again, and the sound deadening, the new one would have shelving, so you could stack things on top instead of on top of each other, equipment on top of equipment. Yeah. And it's a little longer. So, like I said, this one, you just can't, it's just the way it's set up inside. You just can't fit everything in there. You just have to throw it on top.
Okay. My only other comments are it's too bad that we're not able to find something that's 2 or 3 or 4 years old just because it's got such low volume use, but I mean, I talked to Brian and I accept the fact that he's looked into that and it's not available. There is, one other comment I'll make is there is now a balance of $123,000 in the cable TV fund, so it's not like we're going to drain it, you know, from doing that.
Thank
So
you.
those are my comments.
Mr. Pierce?
Yeah, you mentioned that being able to share possibly with, like, maybe when Paul's moving computers between buildings
exactly. Something he can keep weather.
and other people in the town?
Right.
Okay.
I don't see that.
So that's won't be a problem for your crew whether you have things in there?
What I plan to have is like a logbook in there, and every time you use it, you sign in and you sign out. So everybody knows who's used it, you ask, and...
Because, you know, it'd be great if, you know, we can get as much usage out as possible.
Great.
And the other question, I think I talked to you about this when we were talking about this before. You looked at like a UPS type and the FedEx, and those are way up in the 80-some thousand?
I looked at old buses. I figured like an old bus like that coach bus out there, and we just get an older one, strip it, but they're going $60,000, $70,000.
Oh, okay. No, I don't really have a problem with it all by itself. As long as you think we can, we need it, I have no problem with that part. And the second part, if you think we can get more use out of the vehicle by sharing with Paul and anybody else in town who needs that type of a vehicle for moving things around, that's great.
Well,
Thank you. Did you want to make that motion, Phil?
I would make the motion that the town of Hampton purchase for the Channel 22 van at a price of $31,283, and that the current van that has no seat belts and a multitude of maintenance problems be deadlined and nobody drive that vehicle.
Anyone want a second?
I'll second it, and just maybe, if Brian agrees, maybe it should be amended to a cost of not to exceed $32,000, just in case you run into some minor stuff with the numbers or whatever.
Right.
Is that good with you, Brian?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
Got one
Any
couple of questions. Yeah.
other discussion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do we want to have bids on this, Chairman? Like 30-some thousand, we should have bids on it, right?
We have 3 quotes.
You have 3 quotes already?
Yeah, they were in front of you.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you see him?
No, I haven't looked at them yet.
Okay. So we have a motion, and it's been seconded. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, and thank you for doing the wonderful job that you do.
Thanks.
It means a lot here. I
Oh, I see, it's way up here. This is
Thank you.
given to us tonight. I didn't see it.
Next